Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Jae Park, faculty member in KDI School, also chair of our new master program in data science. Today we're talking about the hottest topic on this era, like AI, big data, with the person who are actually doing it as a data scientist. First, I want to introduce our student today. Can you introduce?
Hi, my name is David Wu, an MPP graduate from KDI School. I have a big interest in data science, and that's the reason why I'm here today.
Hi, I'm Jordan Jae Park, and I'm a 2022 MVP student. I'm also very interested in political science and data science, so I'm here to talk with Professor Jae Kim.
We invited an amazing speaker and conversation today with Professor Kim Jae-yeon, who's the data scientist in Code for America in the United States. Yeah, let's start a casual conversation. Hi, Jae Kim. How was it?
It's great. It's going great.
Yeah, thank you for joining us because it's kind of evening time there, right?
Yeah, it's about 6:30 p.m. So my kid just came from her kindergarten, so it's very noisy outside. She's screaming, but I don't exactly know what is happening there.
All right, yeah, that's great. Our students have a lot of questions to you because you're actually working in a public sector as a data science in the United States, which is a lot of people, students here wanted to get in. So probably they will ask a lot of questions. So I wanted to answer those questions as much as you can. Let's start questioning.
I think I can go first. I wondered what brought you to the field of data science, considering your political science background before.
Yeah.
Opportunities. I mean, simply speaking, opportunities. You want to be in the field where it's growing fast. It's the same whether you are running a business, the same whether you're doing research. Because even if you're maybe producing the same quality of the output, you can make different level and different magnitude and different scale of impact given the size of the industry or the field you are in. So I feel like when I was in grad school, I felt data science is one of those fields. It's growing really fast. It's everywhere. So if I want to have more opportunities to grow, more opportunities to learn, more opportunities to make an impact, this is a good field that I want to get in.
In general, I just want to ask where you're currently at, what you currently do, and what your everyday work schedule might look like.
My everyday work schedule, I have lots of meetings. Something that if you ask, like, what's your daily life like to engineers, data scientists, I mean, the answer they're going to give you may surprise you. Like, oh, I have so many meetings. I mean, because like on the apply side, you need to work in a team, you have stakeholders, your partners, so you gotta have meetings. So I'm currently working at Code for America. It's one of the most well-known and largest civic tech organizations in the US. So basically work with all levels of the US government. When I say all level, it means federal, state, and local level. So I worked with federal government, I worked with state governments of California, New York, Colorado, and New Mexico. I've worked with 4 states. And then our main focus is public policy. We have 3 policy domains. One is safety net, social policy, supporting people have difficulties, like managing their life because they're low income, disabilities, and old age, and so on. And the other domain is criminal justice. And I think the last one is tax benefit. So in the US, you need to file your tax to get tax benefits, and which is pretty hard, hard. And so we are helping them. And then my daily life, okay, aside from meetings, so I think our strengths lies in research design. So one of my main contributions to the team and the organization is mapping problems to research design. So if you have these questions, if you have these problems, how we can answer them using data. But before collecting data, you need to think about what kind of design you need to apply. Whether it's you need to go to apply running an experiment where you're just going to get an observational data. If you're doing survey, what kind of questions you need to ask and to whom and the stuff like that.
Now, there's a lot of problems out there. Data doesn't exist in all cases. And of course, data collection is one of the key things that must happen. Quality data collection must happen. Does your organization engage in the data collection process at all? And if so, how do you go about doing to make sure that you have high quality data that you can use to analyze?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I can give you a long answer, but the short answer is how your organization can ensure that they can get good data and data pipeline and analytical approaches and so on. You need to have experts in your organization, and you need to give them authority. So you need to give them job titles, you need to give them responsibilities. So in the US case, almost every federal agency have chief data officers, CDOs. So their job is exactly what you talked about, managing the quality of data inside the organization. So they manage data quality, they manage data governance, they manage analytical approaches, so that their organization is a learning organization. So they learn from data, they apply the lessons to what they're doing so they can do better. So they have a chief data officer, and also almost every agency needs to have two types of experts in the organization. One is a statistical officer and then evaluation officer. Statistical officer is kind of like standardizing the data inside the agency. So they are coming in the same standard format and structure. So when data comes in, they can ensure that it's good quality, consistent quality data. And also there is evaluation officers. I mean, you learn impact evaluation in your courses, right? But evaluation is basically meaning like you trying to learn something from data so that you can apply it to your job and then you can improve it. So there are two types of like kind of people in the field aside from chief data officer. One is evaluation officer and the other one is statistical officer. And this is a kind of recent change. It's all based on an act called the Evidence Act. So the known name for that is the Foundations for Evidence-Based Policymaking, which is signed into law in January 2019. So since 2019, we have CDOs, chief data officers everywhere, and then also evaluation officers and statistical officers. I mean, even before the law, there was like similar laws, similar functions, but it kind of became codified, institutionalized inside the federal, local, state, and local governments. So in the end, what happens is every agency has a mission, and that mission is actually not serving legislative branch, it's just following procedures, it's just serving people, but they end up like spending too much time thinking too much about procedures, or we don't want to, causing a trouble. So this legal compliance is first and foremost. But if you think about the mission, again, the mission is serving the people. And how we can serve the people? Like sometimes maybe AI, other times it's not AI. But we need to improve the quality of service so that when people come to government and then they're trying to do something, it should be easy, it should be fast, and it should be respectable. But those mandates, ideas, but it's difficult to reach them.
I forgot you're a political scientist. Now I can remind that you're actually a political scientist.
I'm a political scientist.
Yeah, I can learn a lot. Yeah.
I know that you are a high-level person right now, which means that you probably engage in a lot of meetings more so than actually working directly with data yourself.
No, I'm very hands-on. Unless at the director level. So if you're a director, basically, actually, like you are required not to do hands-on work.
But you're doing a lot of hands-on then.
Yeah, so senior data scientists, staff data scientists, principals, they all need to do hands-on work. But it's more like if you are going higher and higher, you become more independent. Of course. Yeah, you become more responsible, like independently responsible for the project that you are involved. But the reason that I still need to go to meetings, because I can give you a little bit more context. For example, it's very rare that data scientists only working with data scientists. I don't know, Park, your experience, but I think that's my take. It's very rare. It's very rare. I mean, unless like you are a research scientist for Google Brain, maybe then you are just working with other research scientists and writing papers. But in most other cases, you're going to work with engineers, you're going to work with designers, UX researchers, program people, so basically government experts. Those are inside, and you also have partners, stakeholders. So you need to meet them. Why? Because doing data science is something like playing music, playing an instrument, but you are not doing solo. You are doing in a chamber or like a quartet or orchestra kind of context. So you need to hear how other people play. And then you need to make a harmony based on those understandings.
I think that's the main difference between the computer scientists or machine learning engineers, like AI engineers, with the data from the data scientists, because data scientists usually work as a kind of mediator between the computer science field and like real world problems, like it can be like a business or like social issues or public policy, as what Jaehyun is doing.
Speaking of the challenges you have as a data science and overcoming them, what do you think the first principle of working as a data scientist? Do you think it's a communication?
Thinking hard. Thinking hard. So I'm a data scientist, but I think my primary strength is writing. It's not coding. It's not like running statistical tests. On the other side, so in academia, we write papers, right? You write 20, it depends. Like if you write a CS paper, it's maybe 4 to 5 pages with the conference proceedings. But in most other cases, 20 to 30 pages. On the other side, we write 1 to 2 page, that's for proposal, or 5 to 6 pager, that's for recommendation. So we write a lot actually. And these writings matter because you cannot just bring code to the people. I mean, here are my code and here are my tables and figures. Don't them look awesome? No, they don't communicate. So you need to write a story around these tables and figures. engineers, and you need to make clear about what your recommendations are, given the problems and resources. Otherwise, your deliverables, like your reports and your dashboards, whatnot, they don't go to decision makers.
I am a little bit curious more on the data science aspect of the United States. Now, at the very least, I know that you have experience here in South Korea as well as the United States, probably other countries as well. Could you just briefly go over, or at least share your opinion on what some of the major differences might be?
So there are two acts, two laws, which are so fundamental, I think, to the US data science ecosystem in the public sector. So the first one is the Evidence Act that I mentioned earlier. So that requires every agency produce evidence for what they are doing. So they need to set learning goals, they need to assess their capacity, and they need to revisit them and revise them like year cycle, like 4-year cycle or something like that. So that's first one. That's I think 2018. And there's another act called the Federal Agency Consumer Experience Act, which became a law in 2021. A Federal Agency Consumer Experience Act. It doesn't like sound, like very sexy, right? It's not like AIB or something. So when you hear it, it's like, oh, it's so exciting. It's like Federal Agency Consumer Experience Act. I mean, it doesn't awesome? No, nobody think about that. But it's actually very fundamental. It requires design thinking and human-centered approach in government agency. So if you're a government agency, and especially if you're providing high impact social service like unemployment benefits and child care support and things like that, you need to measure the quality of your service from the perspective of users. So like if you're trying to log in at the website, how long does it take? If you're trying to set up an interview, how long does it take? And whether it's easy or difficult. You need to measure it, you need to report it, you need to analyze it, you need to improve it. So it kind of giving government agencies new missions to think about their data and their users or the people whom they need to serve. So like it's like the fundamental problem in government agencies or public organizations is this gap between procedure and people. Because of status they are established, these agencies exist, but they are mandated to serve the people. But that's so hard. And this law is important because they are trying to narrow this gap by bringing data about people and their experience using services.
Then actually government organizations begin to hire some of UX UI designers or HCI researchers as well? Oh my God.
One example is it's on the White House. On the White House, it's an agency called USDS, United States Digital Service. So I think they have about more than 200 people. I don't exactly remember how many they have. So USDS, they dispatch engineers, designers, data scientists to other federal agencies and improve the quality of their service. So for example, like if there's a Korean government website or app which is terrible, very buggy. So if you go there, it's like it's not working. Then like USDS dispatching specialists. Okay, you guys go there and fix it. And they work with the agency people and they fix it.
Kind of consulting team or external.
Yeah, it's kind of consulting model. So they have it. And there's another important organization. It's now White House. It used to be White House, but it's now outside. It's under GSA, General Service Administration. It's called Office of Evaluation Sciences. So they used to be a nudge unit inside the White House. So their job is basically using behavioral sciences and other insights and then doing ICTs, A/B testing. They do more evaluation oriented, as their name indicates.
Okay, then now we are moving to the questions related to career and academic path in data science in more general.
Data science, very hot topic. Everyone wants to do it. It's the next thing. But there are certain kinds of personalities, certain kinds of traits that people, I guess, are more suited for this kind of line of work, whereas they might be more suited for a different kind of line of work. If a person wants to become a data scientist, what kind of personality traits or just traits in general should this person have in order to have a better chance of succeeding?
You want to help people with technical skills. I mean, in the sense that like you're not gonna be striker. You are gonna be like the main character in the story. If you wanna do that in the tech industry context, you want to be an engineer. You want to be an operation officer, something like that. Learning the business side. Yeah, of course, you don't make the course. What you're gonna do is you're providing insights. So you need to think very strategically about what kind of insights I'm gonna produce and how I'm gonna do that and so on. It's like there's a kind of a strategic dimension to that. So like whether you want to play that kind of function in the organization, I think that matters a lot. That's one. And the other one is kind of like very technical profession, and then it can make a lot of impact, right? And exactly for the reason, I think you also need to have some kind of moral responsibility for what you are doing. Because you can cook data.
Oh yeah,
you can write.
Mining data,
There are so many ways you can do that. So and there are temptations, right? Because you also have incentive. sometimes to tell a lie. Everybody can lie. My take on that is like, but in the long run, honesty wins. So you need to remember that. You need to own the truth. You need to tell the truth.
The next question I have for you, it's more towards the people who will be watching this video, and it's going to be more towards your past experience as a professor for both of you as well. There's a lot of people interested in data science. They don't know how to program. Program is scary to them, but they're still very interested. What kind of words of advice, encouragement, any kind of insights that you might want to give to these people that are interested in becoming data scientists in the future?
And also, whenever I meet people say that, oh, programming is scary, and like, you know, from already have the expertise in public policy, but like you want to learn data science, and then I can see what Jaeyeon mentioned about programming is actually computational thinking and logical thinking, how to design a sequence of commands, right? But a lot of people just feel scary about like the syntax, like, you know, the black background and, you know, white words, only the words filled with like a lot of media shows the hacker thing and this, you know, fast moving screens and like things. But forget about it, and those kind of syntax part, as long as you have a kind of design of your code, you can get help from like, a lot of AI tools like a Copilot, ChatGPT. So, oh, I don't know how to write a Python language. I don't know how to like Java language. Becomes less and less matters because of the AI tools. As long as you have some of the logical, you know, idea how to design or how to implement what you want to do to solve this task or stuff like that. Yeah.
So I feel like it's more important to have a computational thinking or critical thinking to use those tools for, you know, public policy or any kind of like data science project.
Yeah, we have a lot of students who have a career in the United States or like a developed countries as a, you know, successful data scientist. What would be the good advice for them to get the career or have a career in their future and as a successful data scientist as like you?
I'm a Korean. I was born and raised in Korea, though I'm working in the US. I'm an immigrant here. One thing I feel so fascinating is like South Korea, like my native country, is so obsessed with technology. We don't want to get like lose in the competition. Like maybe we are, that's like the framework, the narrative I heard so many times. I grew up there is like, maybe we are late in industrialization, but we are going to be the first. In, you know, information age, in AI age, and so on. Yeah, quicker, faster, and so on. But like, if you want to nearly do that, there are two things I think that's missing in this narrative. One is if you want to do that, you need to figure out the people component. That's always the most challenging aspect of doing business. You need to find a way to identify and bring top talent in the government. So, because like, you know, it's a basically capacity problem. Whether you're thinking about industrial policy, social policy, or whatever policy, unless there is a real expert inside the government who knows stuff, actually do stuff, never good things get done. So you need to understand that. And the second thing is like, government is not private company. But we are serving all people. So there is like mandate and there's a constitution. So every agency has a mandate. So you need to remember and need to actually like trying to find a way to meet those goals. These are not just ideas. Those are actually real objectives that agency needs to achieve. And the reason I mentioned this, like some of things like you guys need to do. You need to run data science. You need to take TEOX course, statistics, econometrics, programming. But also government needs to open the doors. They need to create jobs and open the doors.
Yeah, I think our kind of new data science program actually aims to train not just you know, the just graduate student, but like government officials. So they can actually change those kind of systems inside, like the way that Jaeyeon mentioned, in the future, in the near future, and that's one of my hope to run this program. So let's see what happens within like 5 to 10 years. I think they ask all the questions for you to actually, you needed to have a time with your family members. Daughter, thanks for joining us, and you're as an extra faculty members of KDI School. We want to see you more often in the future. On campus, whenever you visit Korea, we welcome. And also on the Zoom, whenever you have some more advice in the future in the career for data scientists. Thank you so much and your time, and see you later again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye.